So Be Live changed their format this week, and I wasn't sure if I was live or not. So a couple things I'm going to have to change is my lighting here in my new studio. The light coming in the window is so bright, I look dark to you guys. So Relentless Talk Radio, episode 40, Be Live just changed their format, so I'm learning on the fly here. As part of, when I was at IDX, I ran the leadership program, and one of the things that they talk about in leadership training is that leaders who, let's see, all right, so I'm going to start ignoring this thing. Leaders who are able to learn on the fly are ones that are successful. So I have found over the years that I have had to learn on the fly so many times, like I am right now, literally learning real time. Had no idea until I signed on today that Be Live's format had changed. So looks like I am absolutely live. Yay, okay, cool. So here's the deal. Today we're talking about getting into flow after you've had a break in flow. And it's funny, I need to kind of let my guests know that I'll be with them in a minute. And let's see. We'll be with you soon. I'll tell Kim. All right. So learning on the fly is part of what we have to be as leaders. And so I'm just doing that real time for you. So Be Live changed their format, and I'm learning how to use it while I'm talking to you guys. And so the topic today is about getting back into flow after a break in flow. And so this is perfect. This is exactly how things go when you're trying to get back in flow. Have you ever noticed this? When you're trying to get back into your groove, things change, people don't show up, things break. You have to do this, you have to do that. It takes you longer than you expected. And so I was thinking about flow and, getting back into researching, which those of you who know me and who've been following me know that I'm a visual journalist. So usually what I do is I tell a story and I illustrate it. And so Relentless Talk Radio is the place where I'm telling stories this year. And so I'm just now getting ready to start creating using Relentless Talk Radio as the sole story of what I'm doing for my artwork. And so every month, what I'll be doing is I'll be having a food for thought topic every week and then 2 guests. And at the end of the month, I'll be writing a story and creating a painting. And in November of 2020, there'll be an opening. So I'm structuring everything around Relentless Talk Radio right now. Micalizzi Enterprises and all the endeavors that I'm doing, my writing, my art, everything, Relentless Talk Radio is the hub. And I've been trying to do that, and I've been working on doing that, and I've been getting in that direction, I would say, since March. And I sold my house, I moved. I got settled, I got almost ready to get into flow, decided to move to North Phoenix and in with my partner, and so just got settled in my studio. This is my new studio from North Phoenix. And I am ready to start cranking forward. And so today I started my research for this topic, and I just had to laugh about it. What's funny about being in flow is having complete focus and the ability to lose track of time. So for those of us who are able to get into flow, it is really difficult to be out of flow because everything is so much harder when you're not in flow. I have to tell you, you folks that don't ever get into flow, that operate in this place all the time, I don't know how you do it. I really don't, because it's so difficult when you're not into flow. You haven't got pattern, you haven't got purpose, you haven't got structured, focused thought. Because when you have that and you can get into a state of consciousness that allows you to produce and to be creative, then everything is easy. When you're out of flow, like I've been since, I would say, November of last year, it has been almost a year, right after my birthday last year. Okay, my birthday's tomorrow. I got out of flow. I've had my 52nd year, my 51st year, I'm going to be 52 tomorrow, has been a year of being out of flow and learning how to be okay with being out of flow. But now I'm done with that. And it's just ironic that it happens to be the day before my birthday. And so I'm going to let them know that I'm running a bit behind with this point. So, because I really want to let you know that there's a TED Talk that I've put on Micalizzi Enterprises YouTube channel that I really want you to watch. It's about flow, and I'll put a link to that TED Talk in this conversation, this episode, after I'm done with it, this entire episode. So, one of the things that he was talking about in this article that I read in Fast Company, written by Stephanie Zorza, there's a guy, Steve Coulter. He wrote a book called The Rise of Superhuman. The Rise of the Superhuman, Decoding the Science of Ultimate Human Performance. What he found is that extreme athletes are really good at getting into flow, and that there's 3 components that really made that easy for them to get there. One is taking risks. The second is having complexity. And the third is using all your senses. And so it just kind of made me laugh, because when I do my art shows, I'm taking a huge risk. By starting Relentless Talk Radio, huge risk. To have no idea who's going to be on, no idea what we're going to say. It's a huge social risk. And one of the things they talked about in this article is the difference between physical risk and emotional risk is the same thing. That when you're in a risky place, you get to hyper awareness. And that's what I've done to myself since I started my company 6 years ago. And then rebranding this year to Micalizzi Enterprises and starting Relentless Talk Radio has been a huge risk for me, and it has gotten me there again, just being like in a state of the unknown. And ironically, they say that in order to get into flow, you actually have to be there. So that made me kind of, I don't know, breathe a sigh of relief, you know what I mean? That I'm kind of like where I'm supposed to be, you know? And that having complexity and not knowing what's going to happen next allows you to pay attention. Have you ever watched a movie and not knowing what was going to happen next, and you're able to just watch the movie and completely be present? But when you're watching a movie that you know what the solution is going to be, you know what the answer is going to be, you know what the ending is going to be, you're playing on your phone, you're not paying attention. But when you get one of those cliffhangers and you don't know what's going to happen next, which for me is my life, right? I'm paying attention. And so, and also it talked about using all your senses, and it talked about extreme sports, which of course you guys know I'm a biker. So being on a motorcycle is extreme. You're always very aware of the traffic, who's coming, who's going, the weather, the smells. You're very present. That's why I'm a biker. It also said that yoga was a way to get into that place. So no brainer, I'm a yogi too. So a lot of yoga people are able to get into a state of complete focus because they've trained their mind to do that. And so I have gotten out of flow in my 51st year, but I'm telling you here right now, here's my story and I'm sticking to it. My 52nd year, I'm not only going to get back into flow, I'm going to be the most productive and the happiest I've ever been. So they also correlated being in flow and being completely present with happiness. So I know for me that I'm not happy unless I'm in a state of flow. So this TED Talk that you're going to listen to afterwards, I'm going to put and I wish I could tell you this guy's name. It's Micalizzi. It's a complete Russian name that I can't even pronounce. They didn't pronounce it at the beginning of the TED Talk, so I can't repronounce it. But it's called Flow: Secrets to Happiness. He actually came from a World War II situation, and he was kind of intrigued by the idea of people that were able to go through World War II and the craziness that happened in World War II, and how some people were able to make it through emotionally well and some people not so much. I mean, who can blame them, right? But one of the things he talks about is that if you get yourself into flow, that's the way to survive trauma. And so creating a challenge, getting yourself the skills that you need to meet that challenge, focusing on the challenge, and monitoring your emotional state and giving yourself sufficient time to complete the task. So one of the things that I've been doing over the past 6 months is pruning. And I've been talking about that a lot on Relentless Talk Radio. I've been eliminating people, places, things, situations, systems, businesses, services, things that no longer serve me. I have been throwing clothes out, stuff, getting rid of crap. I have been just pruning universally in my life, getting rid of anything that is a time sucker, is an energy drainer, and no more emotional vampires in my life. I have just been like throwing crap out because I know there's only so much time in a day, and I want to spend the time that I have in complete flow and complete focus working on my ultimate mission, which is to encourage people to find their best. So that's really ultimately when you break down everything that I'm doing with health and fitness, philanthropy, entrepreneurism, with Relentless Talk Radio, in my personal life, on my motorcycle, on the yoga mat. It's all about encouraging people to discover what their best is by just kind of being a person that's in the process myself, showing you my process, showing my relentless, I refuse to give up till I win process, and encouraging you to do the same. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to go pick up Kim Fisher. She is a trainer, and she has a company called Diva Over 50. I'm really interested in hearing what she has to say. So I'm going to sign off here, and I'm going to go pick her up, and hopefully I'll figure out how to be live works with getting a guest on board. So that's it today for Relentless Talk Radio, episode 40, segment 1. Come on back real soon, and I'm going to go pick up Kim Fisher right now. Thanks, guys. All right, so I'm going to push the stop button.